Okay folks, believe it or not, after shooting more than a half hour's worth of video, or at least it's pretty close around there, believe it or not, there's some outtakes. So this is take 3 on trying to give you sort of a summary of the entire project, because that's really what I intended to begin with, but it ended up being quite a bit of video, and I'm going to post it in 3 parts. Anyway, what we're looking at here is a gigantic planter box. Let me just kind of go up and give you a little bit of a view there. And what it amounts to is basically a table with 2 legs, but if you were to build something like this, you might have a table with 4 legs. I'm using the wall for the other 2 legs. It's a table with a box on top of it, and the box actually overlaps the table. So let me see if I can sort of explain that part of it and then get you some dimensions. That is my screen door. This bottom piece is actually covering structure on the table, so it really has it's deceptive. It looks like this thing's really, really deep, but that bottom piece is not actually, there's no dirt on the other side of this. It's just structure on the other side of this. If I come around, you can kind of see where it runs into the wall. So you can kind of see that if the wall is really the limiting factor on how far down that dirt can be. And then there's actually more structure on top of the wall, which is hidden even more by the second board. The second board, basically, I would say the dirt's probably right about here. And to give you a sense of scale, this part that's sticking up here is about 2 inches. And below that, there's 9 more inches for dirt. So the dirt is 9 inches deep. These boards are 5.5 inches. So the entire structure is basically 4 feet wide. It's 4 feet plus the way I structured it here, with the side pieces running into the front piece. It's actually from the inside edge to the inside edge on the other side of the side pieces. That's 4 feet, and that's the tabletop on the bottom is 4 feet. So you can see I kind of wrapped the table to build this whole structure. So it's 4 feet plus 5/8 of an inch times 2, which is 49.25 inches. It is 22 inches deep from front to back. These side pieces are actually 22 inches, except where it goes to meet the wall. I had to cut them short to fit them to the wall. On top here, you can see these pieces. The middle piece, the rail running all the way down, is 48 inches, and it's actually 2 of these 5.5 inch fence boards. So that would be 11 inches deep, but like I said, it's sticking proud by 2 inches. This is 48 inches long, running left to right, and then front to back, it's basically, if you take your 22 inches that I said on the side here, you subtract out the 5/8 of an inch for this, and you divide that by 2, you'll get the size of these boards. So that works out to a little less than 11 inches deep on each. So this is a little less than 11 inches this way. It's going to be, if you take the 48 inches from left to right, and you subtract off 1, 2, 3 of these front to back pieces, that's 3 times 5/8 of an inch, because all these fence boards are 5/8 of an inch. That's 3 times 5/8 of an inch subtracted from the 48 and then divided by 4. So I'll let you do the math on that one, but basically it's going to come out a little less than a foot. So it's a little less than a foot going this way, it's a little less than a foot going that way, and it's about 9 inches deep. Maybe what I'll do is at the end of this, I'll actually show you the numbers just in terms of the volume for each one of these cells, each one of these little planters. Also, the planters are set up in such a way that they're isolated from one another, so I don't worry as much about roots going from one set of soil to another set of soil, another from one planter to the other. I don't want to have the roots going from one to another, so that I could take 2 incompatible plants, like beans here and tomatoes here, and I could put them next to each other, but I don't have to worry about them contaminating each other in terms of the soil and the nutrients that are there. So that's the basic idea of this whole planter. It's about 4 feet wide, it's about 2 feet deep, give or take a little. It's a little less than 4 feet off the ground, so actually for the average person this would be quite high. In fact, for myself, the top of this thing is at about chest level. So I can reach out and I can actually touch the back of this, but it's a little harder, so I actually have been using my step stool to plant a lot of the seeds that are in here. So maybe you can call that a design flaw. Maybe I can figure out a way of doing it a little bit better. Maybe the next planter I'll build, maybe I'll design it so it's hooked onto the wall for support, but then it's actually down lower so that I'm not having to reach in as far. Unfortunately, what that would mean then is that the whole thing would have to come out from the wall by that much more. And I wanted to conserve space on my patio here so that I can still walk around. I don't want to have a garden that's so big I can't get to it. So, but anyway, that's pretty much the summary for this whole project. I'll try and put up a screen with a bunch of numbers for you.